So what we're going to do here is we're going to share our screen, and I will show you exactly what the Mozi bot looks like, how we're interacting with it, some cool little features that maybe you're not super familiar with, and ideally the screen will display the way it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and try this. Okay, fantastic. Welcome to the Mozi AI bot. And as I alluded to earlier, you want to focus on the biggest constraint in your business. And this is the constraint that we have been working through, which is scaling our sales org. We've got a great sales director, but we've had a hard time getting people to replicate her results. She's generated over $1 million in business through her part-time effort while managing sales reps and recruiting and hiring and working on sales process development. And you can see here, I gave some context where, hey, we've been through 14 people. This is crazy to me. What's going on? How can we fix this? And so I get a very high level response from the Mozi bot. And you'll see also that it's got a lot of pieces of context here that if you click on these, it will also then go ahead and display the actual text from the book. So if you do want to be like, hey, where did you pull this from? It literally just clicks open. I had reference, hey, you can go and grab your books. If you turn to the page, or you can just click right there and it'll show it to you, which is super cool. Point is that not only is it well sourced, it will give you a high-level execution plan, okay? And so this gives me multiple steps to solve the problem. Now, it doesn't give me a ton of context, but I also want to point out, do you see how long this chat thread is on the right here? I've never had a ChatGPT thread go this long and not fail or get confused or not know what we're talking about. I've never had that be the case. And so again, this is exceptionally long. You might say, well, what are you doing with all this data? What are you clarifying? I'll get into some of those specifics. But the main thing is the quality of the information is exceptional. It truly is. And it's very specific. And so if I go, well, I've never really, let's say, for instance, I've never created a 10 to 12 minute video sales letter expressing what the opportunity is for this particular role. Now, this could apply to bookkeepers, tax, it could apply to any role, right? It's just like, I'm trying to get more people in. How would you recommend that I do that? And so I've got all of this as context, okay? And so what we did is we created a Slack channel. We just called it Sprint, and we took the high-level overview that it gave first, okay? This is what we did. And then we linked all of the additional pieces of information that I got further data on by prompting it to give me more context, give me specific scripts, clarify this, KPIs. And so if you look, I just have 3 or 4 of them open here, but job description for the setters, okay? So this is what specifically we will be posting on Indeed with some variations, but I already have 90% of what I need. Okay, which is fantastic. It also said for all of the people that we've spoken to that were unqualified, that we were able to then that we said, hey, not a great fit right now. They are also potential leads to apply for the position, or they are potential referral sources for people who are looking for opportunities to join sales organizations. And so it's like, oh, well, I would never have thought to even have deployed something like that. And it gives me the context it gives me the specific email copy to share as well. And so then if you I just want to scroll all the way down here because there was one thing that I did recently that I really liked, which is I said, hey, there's this public scoreboard that you keep referencing. In other words, when you are creating a meritocracy in a sales org, you need to have publicly displayed numbers so that you can basically re-rank where people are, promote, demote as necessary. And I was like, I would like to understand what those are. Can you help me understand what that looks like? And I have it. It gives me the specific formulas to put in, gives me the operating rules, how to use it. And then as always, it always ends with your next step, which I just love. And so if I'm going to get the exact blow by blow in terms of the actual, what to do from a high level execution standpoint, and then I can ask, all of the clarifying questions, like what does the application look like? What do the quiz looks like? And I've already built this entire thing inside of Typeform. And what I'm going to do here is I'd like to just stop sharing my screen, and I'd like to just show you a little bit of what our Slack channel looks like. And then I can also show you, again, it's like all of these things that we were able to build way faster than we would have been, we would have not been able to build these things as quickly, or not even known what to build to solve this problem, right? It's both. It's like, wouldn't know what to build, wouldn't know how to build them. So we have both, what to build to solve the problem, specifically how to build them, and KPIs to track and understand, like, are we actually performing at where we should be? So I'll just very quickly share our, again, internal Slack sprint channel so you can see, again, like the exact logic that I'm discussing in terms of like, how do you implement this stuff? So let me share my screen and again, hope this works. So screen, we will go with a specific window and we will go with Slack and hopefully you guys can see this. Okay. So again, this is literally just a copy paste from the very first prompt that I showed you. It's exactly what I showed you. Okay. And so it says create a 10 to 12 minute video sales letter. Now, if I click this open, it will show you the slide deck. And I asked it for like, what should the slide say? Like, help me understand. And it gave me what to say. Now, of course, my wife is in the process of customizing it in the background, which is fantastic. I'll likely bring it up in a second. Then there's the video, right? So I made a first rough draft video of it. I created the application. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. It's likely not going to display just because I'm sharing the Slack right here. I also then merged it. So then I created something slightly different, which I think is pretty cool. So you guys should be able to see this in just a second. So I'm just bringing up some tabs in the background here. Cool. Okay. And that was I actually put that in a separate thing. It's the wrong link, but I can pull it up in a second. And then I've got the LinkedIn search parameters, which is again, like how to actually do the outbound for it. I've got the group interview schedule, like in terms of like what we're going to cover and how we're going to cover it. So we have all of these things, and then you can say like, okay, well, what about the daily KPIs, all these other things, right? So that is over here on the right because I wanted to have its own separate little thread to come along with it because I think KPIs and how to track the actual performance of it when we assign responsibility of this to a team member. What are the stats and the data that we want to be able to see associated with this particular process? And you can see they're all listed here. Like all of them are listed here. And if I were to say, hey, can you actually just create an Excel spreadsheet with the formulas so that this would be easier to track, as I just showed in the Mozi bot, you would be able to do just that. So I'm going to just share one last thing here. And I just want to show something that I think is pretty cool here so that you can see something that I think is going to help a lot of people with recruiting talent. All right, so I had opened up a few specific pieces of data here, but I had talked about the form, the application, so video sales letter, right? That flows into the application. And so you explain the position, you explain what's going on, you've got a little bit of, sauce, a little hype, a little evidence. And then you essentially go, hey, if you like what you saw, the evidence, what we discussed, here's your application. Now, the interesting thing that the bot talked about was auto-scoring your quiz, because you want to make sure you're testing for a certain amount of information. And so we've got specific Loom videos. Again, it gave me and said like, hey, you're going to want to get 2 Loom videos from the people with these scripts. And so if you click the links, guess what happens? It will open up the specific script that we want them to read on Loom to apply. Then you also have something else, which is quizzes. So on the bottom left here, you'll see their endings, okay? And so if they score above 6 points, and the questions are not hard, but it auto grades them. And so if they score above a certain amount, and again, this applies to any position, I just want to be clear, like if you have some sort of knowledge base that you're like, if you can't get these things right, we probably shouldn't talk. You can set these up in Typeform, auto grades them, and then splits them between show them this, the link to book the group application, right? The thing that goes to the next part of the process, or show them this and say, hey, thanks so much. Not a great fit right now, but we've got your data stored and we're more than happy to reach back out to you and et cetera, in the future when more opportunities open up. Okay. And so you've got this here. You've got the agenda for the call on the group call, like literally everything that we would need to know, like everything that we would need to say. And if I was ever unclear about any aspect of what it asked me to do in the high level summary, I can just ask it again. And the quality of this is bonkers. Okay. I'm going to provide one other thing here, which is, again, it's like I've talked about, packaging, pricing, and I find a lot of people are stuck in like package purgatory. And so if you're trying to develop an irresistible offer, Hormozi's first book, an offer so good you'd have to be stupid to say no to it, this is a very simple prompt. CFO package, consider using a wave fee money model. Okay. And so again, I covered this in a different video, but this is such an unfair advantage to accelerate the development and the testing of guarantees, different money models, like ways to effectively, quote unquote, hack your ability to increase your sales velocity and your conversions. So every time I use this, I'm just like so impressed. It is unbelievable, truly. So I don't even know if you can buy this after the fact that the event ended. I don't even know how to get the ACQ AI, the Mozi bot as I like to call it. But as soon as you do get the opportunity to secure this, I highly recommend that you get it. My wife, who I consider the smartest person, like period, she was like, I don't know how much I would spend to maintain access to this thing. And my wife is frugal, to be clear. Like she's very clear at like assigning value to very specific things. And for her to like not really know what the upper limit is on spend to maintain access to this bot, it should be a testimony that you take very, very, very seriously. So I hope that you enjoyed what I showed you here. I wanted to less so be like, these are prompts, and show like, this is how I use it. And this is how I'm using it to solve the biggest problem in my business. I think that's more important than like, it can make fancy graphics or like this versus this, like this data over here versus this data over there. I wanted to show practical use case and application. I thought that would be the best use of our time today. So this is how we're using ACQ AI, the Mozi bot, to scale our company. And I sincerely hope that you consider using it to scale yours as well. My name is Tyler S. Clark. Thank you so much for your most precious resource. And always remember that only you can create your dream firm, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will look forward to seeing you on the Inside of the Dream Firms Network, where we discuss things like this and a whole lot more to help you create your dream firm. So I'll see you later, and thank you again so much for your time.